Imagination! Okay, that's a terrible way to start this off. Alright, so the 38th Sentai is upon us. Ressha Sentai ToQger, in case you don't know how to pronounce that, because I don't blame you. First time I saw the actual English script writing for this name, I was like, ToQGE. What? That's not even grammatically correct, but it's spelled ToQger. You're supposed to put emphasis on the Q. It's not like when we first saw it was like ToUKKEGER, like ToQger, ToQger or something. It's ToQger. So now that that grammar lesson is out of the way, I have high hopes for ToQger. For the mere fact of an article I saw like about a month before the season started, and it said that it was being worked on by, it was being written by, produced by, and directed by the same staff that did Shinkenger. And if you know me and Sentai, you'll know how much I freaking love Shinkenger. It's my favorite Sentai ever, hands down, bar none. Shut up, go away if you don't like it. I love everything about Shinkenger. Like, I have no complaints about Shinkenger, but then again, I had like a whole review that was over an hour about Shinkenger. It's in the videos. You can go look at it. So as soon as I read that, my hopes for ToQger and my anticipation for the season just skyrocketed because I love what those guys did with Shinkenger, obviously. So I was looking forward to this season. Overtime released their subbed episode of 1 last night, and I sat down and watched it. First thing is the theme song, the first impression of the Sentai we get, and it's such a bouncy theme song. I love this theme. It's so goofy because it keeps making train jokes in it. Um, I like it though. It's gonna be one of those Sentai themes I'm gonna be listening to a lot. I like it a tad bit better than Koryuger's just because it's really bouncy. Like it's one of those songs you'll just sit there and you'll start like that looked really strange. But it's one of those themes. Now the whole thing behind ToQger, aside from it being train themed, is imagination. Imagination. Yeah, it was bound to happen sooner or later. I'm just waiting for someone to Photoshop Tokyo 1 or the conductor's head over SpongeBob's body and make that a picture. I'm surprised it hasn't happened yet, actually. It's been a day and it hasn't happened yet. It's like an obvious meme picture. Come on, guys, get with it. Internet's slow today. The internet is really slow today. But they did show some signs of imagination in here, like their team blaster, like their combined team weapon, shot a missile and it turned into whatever they wanted it to, in this case being giant stone statues of crying children that like multiplied and crushed the guy. It was really, really weird, but it's funny. It's really funny. I kept saying that I like Koryuger a lot because it reminded me a lot of Go-Onger, and I like Go-Onger. But this episode reminded me of Go-Onger more than Koryuger did. So, yay? And plus it's being done by the Shinkenger people, so more yay. Um, the Rainbow Line is their train system. Odd name, huh? I'm curious as to where they got these trains from. I wonder where they came from. But we have the 5 main rangers. Tokyo 1, which the name is right, and it's literally spelt the same way as the direction right. Right. Fun name. He reminded me a whole lot of Sasuke, aka Go On Red, but he was smiling a lot more than Sasuke did. Sasuke was kind of cocky. Right seems to be very, like, slow in the head, kind of, because he has the right idea, he just doesn't seem to think about how to approach it. And you could tell by him jumping on the train with the enemy train, knowing that he's a ToQger, but he doesn't know how to become a ToQger. So he just jumps on that train, and then as soon as like, I'm a ToQger, and then he just looks behind him and was like, how do I change into one? Like, it hit him after the fact. And that was pretty funny. I'm trying to learn how to pronounce these names. Tokadai, Tokyu 2. He seems to be the gentleman-esque member of the group. I didn't get much of an impression of him. I didn't get much of an impression at all of Tokyu 4, but we'll learn about these people more as they go. But he seemed kind of gentleman-ish-y, kind of. Mio Tokyu 3, she reminds me a lot of Luca. Gokai Yellow, and I like Luca. So I honestly like her already. Hikari Tokyu 4, I didn't get much of anything out of him. And Hagura Tokyu 5, she reminded me a lot of Akiba Yellow. Take that as you wish. But I really like her. She's funny because she like gets really scared and like, I can't do this, I can't do this, I can do this, and then she yells Supergirl and then just starts kicking butt. Like, what? First time she said Supergirl, she just like flew into the air like Superman style and came down and started wrecking things. It was so funny. And there's this one thing where she had like her weapon like grew and the enemies run into it and they shot out as like little tiny things and she started poking them with her little dagger thing, and she was like poke 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 poke, and every time she poked one you saw this little puff of smoke like with them blowing up. They were like this tall, so like poof 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 poof. It was hilarious. The fight scenes are actually kind of comedic because of things like that. But I do like how these characters interact with each other because they're childhood friends. They found out that they had like a treehouse fort or something when they were younger, and right established at the very top of the tree was outer space. And they were recruited because of their imagination power. Really cheesy sounding, isn't it? But then again, we thought Brave sounded really cheesy when ToQger started. And look at how well that turned out. I thought that concept was pretty interesting. And the whole Song of the Earth and Melody of the Land and stuff like that was pretty sweet too. Yeah, I'm stuck in my throat tonight. ToQo. I remember when we first saw pictures of him, we were like, oh my god, what is wrong with that thing? It's like, well, they are called the Rainbow Line. The thing looks like a walking rainbow, that's for sure. But when I actually saw the thing in motion, it was kind of sweet because it came in grinding on rail tracks like a Grand Line or Super Train Megazord did. And he had this cool thing where he threw a punch and a kick, like he threw a punch and it was like a train just constantly going out and he punched him, and the same with a kick. It was really cool. And then the finale is them putting like the little railroad crossing blockers down. He's grinding on the railroad tracks and just... I honestly liked ToQo's first appearance. It was kind of impressive, actually. The thing still looks weird, but the actual suited version in the show doesn't look that bad. The toy for the thing, like the little transforming toy thing, looks really stupid. And I don't know if you've seen the picture yet, but if you know how the thing transforms, you can make the thing look like it has a big wee-wee. He's got a train for you. I just need some weird, creepy, dramatic zoom in after saying that. He's got a train for you. Okay, that's enough of that. The advantages of having a loose camera. I can do creepy rate face zoom ins. Really not much to say here because the episode did kind of fly by a little bit. But the first impressions were really good. I honestly enjoyed this episode a lot more than I thought I would, and even though I had really high hopes, because Shinkenger, it was a really solid episode, and they established the humor in this season. Which Shinkenger was a dark, twisted Sentai, its funny moments were pretty dang hilarious. And the staff, the writing staff, the director staff, have proven they can write a serious, dramatic, emotional, tugging, serious, comedic show all at once. Because Shinkenger had everything. Like it had emotional moments, moments where you felt bad for the heroes, for the villains, comedic moments, amazing moments. Probably my favorite plot twist in all of Sentai with Princess Shinken Red. So, and I think they went ahead and established something like that because at the very end they were wondering why they were all recruited, and the little puppet, his name was Ticket, the little puppet that the conductor had, said that you guys are as good as dead. Now, we don't know what that means exactly, but it is an interesting line. You are as good as dead. This either means two things. One, he doesn't have any confidence in these guys, and he's going ahead and claiming that these guys have lost. Or two, these 5 guys are dead. And we do get an interesting little flashback thing here that I'm kind of going to put a little bit of a theory together. There was a little flashback thing with them as kids when they were in the tree where it shows Wright climbing the tree and then he falls. And then he wakes up inside the rainbow line train. Now, take that back to the beginning here. At the very beginning of the episode, the evil train of the day was kidnapping kids, and Wright was inside of it as an adult. How did an adult get in a thing that was only kidnapping children? I've got a few ideas here. Did they die and they're imagining themselves as adults? Or is their imagination power so strong that they turned into adults? Or is there something else behind this that we don't know? It was an interesting line that raised a lot of eyebrows, and it even raised my eyebrow a little bit, as in I didn't know what to make of that last line of the episode. It was so confusing. But these writers, they'll have an answer for it. They'll have an explanation for it, and I can't wait to see what they're going to do with this. Really, really great first episode. I'm already hooked on ToQger, and I can't wait to see where the Sentai goes. Got high expectations for this because Shinkenger and everything, so I'm hoping this turns out to be some crazy rail ride. I'm excited. I really am.